Went to the bathroom, ran into Rodney Smith. The nicest person you will ever meet.
And he is gorgeous.
Well,
Those teeth.
We use the same toothpaste.
He's
I'm
tall
pretty sure.
and thin. Does he always wear a flannel shirt? Is that a thing?
I guess.
That's a thing.
I'm going to start wearing flannel. Look what I'm wearing now. I went and bought a button-up shirt that looks just like something.
You're no Rodney.
I'm not a Rodney.
His hair is black as night. And it is gorgeous.
He kind of looks like a Canadian.
You have nice hair. It's just not.
He looks like a Canadian McDreamy.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is the best podcast that talks about board games. Probably not the best podcast about board games. It doesn't matter because we talk about a lot of things. We are live.
No, we're not live. You're not live.
Well, we're at BGG.
Well, we are.
We are
when
live.
people listen to this, we will not be at BGG.
But we are alive at BGG.
Again, yes.
So we are alive at BGG.
And we messed this up.
No, I haven't messed this up. We are actually recording in our
room
from Studio 889 at 300 Reunion Boulevard.
BGS Studios in downtown Dallas.
Our Gabi is literally sitting on a queen-size bed with the mixer. Enrique has his mic stand propped up on the mini fridge, which he's pulled out.
Which is magnificent.
And I am sitting in front of the TV. It doesn't matter. We do these things for our fans, for which we love.
Yeah.
We're all about our fans.
Well,
which we have met at least 3 of them now.
And that's good enough for me. So, all right. This podcast, one, we're not going to give any definite opinions about games. We're just going to talk about some stuff. But also, we're going to talk about our experience at BGG Con 2019. We love BGG.
It's good stuff. Love it.
Close to home.
Good.
Plus, it's not so much about buying games. It's about playing games and meeting people. And that's kind of our deal.
You love to talk.
I love to talk.
You love to meet people. We'll be in the elevator, and Jerry's like, "Oh, what you got there? Oh, where you from? Oh, Oklahoma. Oh."
How do you pronounce your last name?
As I stand in the corner quietly.
I just like to interact with people and see how they interact with me.
Well, that's
and
good.
I judge them harshly.
One of us needs to be that way because I am not.
We met one of our fans.
I saw in a picture,
Kane.
Jerry hugged him aggressively.
Kane, why haven't you called? Since, well, I figured that was appropriate because...
You think so?
Yes,
you think that was appropriate?
It probably was appropriate.
It definitely wasn't.
According to the harassment policies of BGG.
I have violated 3 harassment policies of the BGG.
Amendment 3.7.2.
I find it interesting that they even have to state that you will be ejected from the con if you do these things.
Yeah.
Like, do not harass
Kind
people.
of obvious.
But then again, I guess, for someone like me who has little boundaries, it's good to remind myself I can't just start talking.
Sometimes you just start talking.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I said, well, so this is our dynamic. Jerry goes around talking. I go around apologizing behind him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what he said.
You're literally like FEMA. You're just picking up the debris in my wake.
I'm so sorry, my friend.
Yeah.
He really is a good guy.
Actually, your dynamic is kind of in between of apologizing and joining in with Jerry.
This is Jerry, by the way. Enrique's here as well. Gabi's here. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Amazon Prime. And if you have Disney Plus, one of these days...
Yeah, follow us on Disney Plus.
Follow us on Disney Plus.
The Mandalorian.
Or is there a Woman DeLorean?
So we can talk, the woman DeLorean.
Wait.
We can talk about it now.
We can't talk about it now. Here's why.
I saw episodes 1 and 2.
Stop. Because now here's what I was going to talk to you. I should have told you about this. We have listeners that are in Europe, the EU, or Brexit, whatever they call it, overseas, that do not have Disney Plus.
There.
This is a disgrace. But here's
Why do they do that? Seriously.
There's a company called Sky that owns the broadcasting rights, and Disney is not paid up with them until 2020, I think. And so March of 2020 is when they're going to be able to get the Mandalorian if they haven't already pirated it.
I mean, it's just they're asking, like, somebody said on our comments, they were like, well, I was willing to give them my money, but now I guess I'll just pirate it.
I know that's it. But here's my thing. Here's what I'm going to say. I think that we should, and I'm about to coin a term here, Charles Dickens used pod snappery.
Pod snappery.
Yeah, I like that. I'll give you the definition of that here in a moment. We're going to do pod snaps. Pod snaps are, by definition, what I am.
That would be a good name for a podcast.
Yes. Well, a pod snap is
Pod
what. So when this catches on, remember, I started it first. A pod snap is going to be a quick, off-topic. I know we're always off-topic, but off-topic for the subject or theme of the podcast that's short, sweet, and to the point. We are going to do pod snaps of our new favorite show, The Mandalorian.
Grey's Anatomy.
I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy since George died. And I bawled.
Spoiler alert!
If you haven't seen Grey's Anatomy right now, I don't know if you should just stop listening.
Pod snappery, an attitude toward life.
So shouldn't I not be here then?
Who are you? Quiet, please.
Pod snappery, an attitude toward life marked by complacency, check, and a refusal to recognize unpleasant facts.
That's essentially you.
Yes, because I don't want to see unpleasant facts.
All right.
So to ignore them, I
notice every time you
Close
read
my
something
eyes
on
and ears.
Wikipedia you don't like, you just start editing it.
I go.
So we're going to do some separate
But
separate
it's nothing
podcasts.
unpleasant.
Listen, no. We're going to do separate podcasts, short podcasts about The Mandalorian that are not connected with board gaming.
So we're gonna have it's a board game snobs, but not gaming.
It's going to be a
podcast.
Board Game Snobs Plus.
There you go.
So if you'd like to subscribe
only
to
gonna
Board
cost you
Game Snobs
$6.99.
Plus. Yeah. Yes, no. We're just going to put it out at random, talking about The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So that way
they can choose whether to listen to it or not.
So our Euro friends will not be spoiled, and this is how we're going to do it. So now, moving on to BGG.
Oh yeah, that's where we're at.
When we arrive at BGG,
This is a nice room we're in. Though.
Arrived.
at the new
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Did you say a rove?
Yes, he did. He did.
What? Is that a word? When we are roved?
Look that up. How do you get to places in your Rover?
Oh. When we are roved, all right,
My
go.
Land Rover rolling up 20-inch rims, my
go.
platinum.
Stop.
So we got
roved is not a word.
So we got here. Anyways, when we got here, we're at a new hotel for the convention. It's held under the big ball here in Dallas, the Geodome.
Geodome.
Yeah. So this is
Hyatt Regency Dallas.
this is a much nicer venue than the previous one.
There's
A lot
lots of
bigger,
rich
too.
people here.
And there's
Very
lots
uncomfortable.
of room. I've just really liked it more.
Do you like it here?
I do.
Yeah.
I like it here as well. I like the fact that I can walk across the street and go Subway.
Obviously.
Yes, there's eating places. The previous BGG was at the airport hotel, and you
Which
couldn't
we
leave.
were like trapped in, basically.
And Gabi showed me how to use a little rent of scooters, the little Uber
Oh,
scooters.
God.
I've been
And-
scooting
And
around.
Gabi has been like flying around on these
They
scooters.
see me rolling.
Yeah, he drifted on one of the scooters.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, and
We're
will
going to post a video.
We'll post that on Instagram soon.
I'm
Anyway, so
drifting
when you
on an
arrive,
Uber scooter.
when you arrive to BGG, of
Or a
course,
Rove.
I have this massive library for which you can take out a game, play it, and so forth.
But no books.
No books.
Except game books.
Real books.
With instructions
Yeah.
They're
in
called
them.
rule books.
Oh, that's right.
How long have you been at this? And now we did the virtual flea market, is which when you sell or buy games online prior.
I find it interesting that it's a virtual flea market, but then it becomes a real IRL flea market
For real?
in real life.
In real life. Well, it's kind of like you're getting red pilled and you're coming out of the Matrix.
It's like, whoa.
Oh, this is what it looks
I
like.
feel like I bought a game. You did, sir, and I need my money.
Reality sets in, which it did for me. I sold a bunch of games and then did not realize I was telling Gabi I didn't buy anything this year. And
Speaking
then
of
I
which,
found
we
out
haven't done our money.
I bought a lot of games. Yeah, I owe you some money.
I hope so.
You
Don't worry.
bought,
I need to
like,
pay for the
probably
room.
7 games.
Yeah, I got
maybe?
good stuff though. Good
because I'm
stuff.
out of cash.
That's okay. We got you covered.
I'm broke.
We're good. We're good. And so,
BGGs are not, oh, that's one thing about this place. It's not cheap. Like if you okay, I realize why people bring backpacks fully stocked. I did not. I don't have any water. I don't have any peanuts. I forgot my toothbrush.
what have you been brushing
wait.
with?
Well,
Wait,
I
is
bought
that what
one.
I saw?
I had to.
Oh.
There was one. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I was brushing my teeth.
I don't travel without my quip.
Wait, but you said you didn't bring a toothbrush.
I brought a travel toothbrush,
Oh,
but
okay.
then I was using some toothpaste that was in my travel bag.
Technically, any bag and any toothbrush, if it can be traveled with, is a travel.
But it said expired 15.
It doesn't matter.
4 years ago, toothpaste.
It's kind of like any pizza can be a
It's
personal
full of-
pan pizza.
That would have been fluoride, like deadly fluoride. Would have just killed me.
Fluoride.
It expired 4 years ago, the toothpaste.
Did you throw away expired toothpaste?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when I first squirted it out, like just some sort of oil came out on my toothbrush.
The minty freshness.
on my toothbrush. So I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I look at my toothpaste. It says expired 15.
2015. You
So I threw my toothpaste away.
BCE. What is
I threw my toothpaste and my toothbrush away. Went downstairs, bought a new toothbrush, and I've been stealing your toothpaste. Hope you don't mind.
It's Colgate.
I've also been doing
No,
that.
you're using some sort of Jason.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I did. I switched to that organic toothbrush. Toothpaste.
You're all about organic
Really?
stuff.
Yeah, it's got herbs and spices. It's like lavender, and there's no fluoride in it. There's
It's
no
basically
potassium.
a tasty toothpaste.
Well, no, it's like when you
It's
brush
like
with
leaves.
it. After
It's
you
like
brush with
leaves
it,
and dirt.
after you brush
It's,
with it,
it's basically tea, but in paste form.
after you brush with it, you got the floss to get the pomegranate out from under your teeth. It's pretty rough, but you know
Fig Newton.
that's fruit and cake. But yeah, so far our experience at BGG, we have.
I didn't finish my thought there.
Oh,
so
continue.
like if you want water, if you want coffee, they got these things downstairs, and like it's been like $20 at the freaking store downstairs every morning to get water, a Gatorade, a coffee, and some nuts.
But fortunately, I know Ignacia.
A what?
Ignacia. That is our room housekeeper who comes around every morning around 11:30, and every time I pop out there, I tip her, and then I take as
How much
I tip well.
do you?
I'm a snob. I take as many bottles of waters as I like and as much coffee as I like, and I've been drinking their house coffee, which happens to be Starbucks, which I've been bringing in
I
our
heard
room.
not to drink out of those things because they're nasty.
They are nasty.
That's why.
Speaking of nasty, let me just plug one of our listeners requested that one of our listeners asked, do we always drink an adult beverage during the podcast?
yes, it's the fuel.
It's
Wait,
the-
why are you saying yes, Enrique?
Because you do.
But
Oh,
yeah, but
okay.
you
But
don't
you
because you
don't.
have no kidneys.
Yeah, but I'm
you gotta
still
be kidding me.
confirming.
So me and Gabi, I have been on this tear of trying to buy the cheapest whiskey we can find, but the nicest whiskey. So it's whiskey that we can stand. I bought this bottle of Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey called 2 Stars. I was bragging about it to
That's
Gabi.
2 out of 10.
Oh yeah, I told Gabi, I said, "This is good stuff. I think it's good stuff. It's got great reviews." We drank it, and the first day of the con, we had raging headaches.
bad.
It was bad. But Gabi, the next night, brought in his Proper 12. Is it called?
Proper 12 Irish whiskey.
$21.
No. It was.
It's
at the store-
$21.99 at Wine and More.
No, I don't know what it is. The store we bought it was $27 plus tax. It was like $32.
But it's $21.99 at Total Wine and More.
21?
Yes, I looked it up.
I thought it was 25.
It's 21. Anyways, so that's pretty cheap. You've got me beat. This is a pretty
but
decent.
is that a 750? or is
Yes,
that-
that's $7.50. What's yours?
How much was that?
It's like 26. You got me beat. You got me beat.
Really?
Yeah, you got me beat.
Well, mine's better.
Yours is way better. I'm drinking this 2-star right now just to get rid of it.
Get
And
your
it's
money's
rough.
worth.
I'm putting sugar in it. I'm trying. I mean, it's rough. Anyway,
It's atrocious.
but Proper 12. If you want cheap whiskey, yeah, there you go. You're on a
It's
budget.
good. It's good.
So-
I really like it. It's got just a hint of smokiness to it.
Just like
and
you.
it's a little sweet.
Oh, just like you.
Oh, thanks.
Aged and smoky.
It's like a fine Irish whiskey.
So we met some of our fans.
So day one,
Day one, Kane and the lovely wife of Kane, whose name I forgot.
Amber.
Is it Amber?
Amber.
Like, okay.
Like the color and like what the mosquito got stuck in Jurassic Park. Spare no expense.
That's not that funny, but it is funny. What I want to know is how much money did the original Jurassic Park get from Barbasol to say use our shaving cream can? Now I know it was in the book.
cheapest
It was
of
in the
shaving
book.
creams.
Yeah, nobody used Barbasol, but who would do that? Like, you know, and that made it like an iconic thing.
This is my thing. Was that a thing before Jurassic Park to have like a fake Barbasol can you like hide your keys or something in?
No, nobody had that. That was
Because it is now.
That was Michael Crichton wrote that. That was his thing.
He wrote Barbasol into the script, the book?
No, I think it was in the book. He used a shaving cream can, and I think it said Barbasol, if I'm not mistaken. Enrique's looking it up. That's one of the 3 books Enrique has read. I gave Enrique Jurassic Park, and he loved it.
Enrique's our producer.
2 books.
Yeah, he had 2 of them. He
read both books?
Yes, and Lost World.
Well, it took me a
Wait,
year
I guess
to
that's
actually...
it. There's not a third
It
book.
actually took me a year to get to read the first book.
First book?
Yeah, first book.
First
First
book.
book.
First book.
Yours, Bims?
But then Jerry was like, "You better read that book," and then I just felt like
You did like a slapping motion. Did he slap you when he said that?
I do.
That's
Enrique. Let me tell you. Stop. I got to tell you how proud I am.
There are
of
so
Enrique.
many lawsuits pending.
Enrique. Yeah. Not only that, and the harassment people.
Especially from when you hugged Kane yesterday.
He can refer to our legal counsel.
Kane's a nice looking fella.
He's not unattractive. What? No, I'm talking about Enrique and how proud I am of Enrique. This is gaming related. So Enrique has not only read a book, he has taught a game, learned a game, taught a game here at the con.
Ecos.
Ecos.
Yeah, First Continent. Is that what that's called?
Yes, he learned that. But also, Enrique went to Star Realms tournament.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a 4-round tournament, won 3 out of 4, won a play mat. So that means that of all the hundreds of players, Enrique's like in the top 10 of Star Realm players.
Look at you, Enrique. Enrique's all about card games. He
Who would've
whooped our
thought?
butt at a card game.
Who would have thought?
Okay, so day 1. This is what I have in my BG stats.
Tell me about your stats.
We walk into the exhibitor hall as press.
Give me those
We
digits.
got in early
Yeah, because I told people that we knew Dan Hughes.
because of our press badges.
I told everybody we knew Dan Hughes, and they gave us press passes.
Perhaps you've heard of Dan Hughes.
I had to
of
speak in a very
Sporadically Bored
highfalutin British
and Mike
accent.
Delizio. Did you know he's part of Dice Tower?
Who?
Oh, and then I guess who's walking around down
Who?
here? Tom Vassell.
Who?
Exactly.
I know Mike Delizio.
Oh, I have Mike solo mode. I've been. This
Rip
is what got
Torn.
me. I've been.
Go ahead. He looks like Rip Torn.
Like those are 2 verbs.
I
And
know, but
his name.
that's Rip Torn. That's his actor name.
Cut Slice.
Cut Slice.
That's my name. So when he was thinking of Hollywood names, he's like, I can go with Cut Slice or Rip Torn.
I'm torn.
Okay. So
R.I.P.
I don't forget. Is he dead?
Isn't he? He's got.
he did.
He's got to be dead. Rip
He
Torn.
did die.
Rip Torn is really.
In black.
Rip Torn. Rip.
That's right.
Oh, you set me up and knock it down. Keep going.
You're welcome. All right. So me and Jerry walk in. They got a TMG table set up with our friend Sarah that was teaching. We played Aristocracy from Reiner Knizia.
Wasn't impressed.
It's like I said, it's perfectly fine.
It's tile flipping.
You flip tiles and gather all of the same type
You flip
and
down
score points.
and reverse them. I wasn't that excited
it
about
was no, it was. I would not buy it.
But to interrupt, a other TMG game also taught to us very nicely by Sarah was that Dawn of Mankind.
Yes,
Surprisingly good.
but that was Thursday. I was going with Wednesday when we first got
but
here.
anyways, I'll talk about that later. Go
Lord
ahead.
head.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Okay, so I'm going off Wednesday, day 1.
Okay, go ahead. Wednesday.
So then we played that, and we walked around the exhibit hall for a long while, and then finally we went to the library and got a game.
Kept flashing my badge.
I got Pulsar 2849, which was recommended to us by Christian Soulard, Soul Train.
Soul Train.
And well, I mean, you know, it's a viable a recommendation
Viable.
based on our dice,
Anytime
our
you say
love
the
of
word.
dice placement these days.
Anytime you say the word viable to someone who's in the medical field, that does not sound.
What does that mean?
It just seems like it's like you're just barely alive.
Well, tell me.
Okay, so like here's Pulsar. Hang on, because I'm about to.
You don't feel a pulsar?
There's no pulse. It's not viable. Pulse is very
Is
weak.
viable? His pulsar is not viable.
Yes, it's almost asystole. So in
His blood
Pulsar,
pressure is 28/49.
you can't have the top number higher than the bottom number.
You mean
Can't have-
lower?
What do you mean?
The top number can't be
The top
Lower
number
than
can't be
the-
lower than the bottom number.
right.
Your
so-
systolic
so
can't
if
be
you're
high.
28/49, you're
It's
in
not-
trouble.
That's not right. It's impossible.
You're a bad nurse.
The top number is systolic,
Yes, diastolic.
systolic, and diastolic.
No, I'm talking. Yeah,
the top
systolic
number
over
cannot
diastolic.
be lower than the bottom number.
Exactly. So
But
if
you
you're
kept-
28/49, something is wrong. That's what I'm saying, right?
I've missed your joke. It's impossible to be 28 over 49.
That's because you're drinking that cheap whiskey.
This cheap
2 stars.
This cheap whiskey has turned me into a 2-star podcaster, which I am the star of the podcast. That's why I bought this.
Here we go.
Oh, and Gobby's the host. Anyways,
And welcome.
Pulsar. Pulsar was not.
It's meh.
Thank you, Enrique.
It's less than meh.
We played it
Sorry,
next.
Soul Train.
We played it next to a group that was playing another Vladimir Suchi game, Underwater Cities. Of course, they were loving it.
With some nice boards.
They had those double-decker boards.
And they were watching us.
Where do you
be,
get
like,
those
all
from?
depressed
I
while
don't
we
know.
were playing our game.
You think somebody would send us stuff like that? We need to call
Come on,
Vladimir.
Vlad.
Vladimir Suchi, why can't you send us some double-decker boards?
Come on, man.
I was not impressed with Pulsar. It was not that great. There was a lot of movement with moving this little ship around the board, landing on pulsars, putting your little ring on them, and then
Gotta put a ring on it.
there was too much.
If you like it, you put a ring on it.
Thank you, Beyonce. But all the single pulsars know that if you don't activate and then flip your, what's that called, a Dyson machine? I keep calling it a Dyson machine. A Dyson device
No,
is
it
what
was
you
a
use.
Gyro something.
It was something.
Which makes me mad because a Dyson machine is what you utilize to harness.
Dyson is a vacuum.
But it's also used to harness energy from a sun. But anyways, it just wasn't. I'd much rather play Underwater Cities as a far superior game,
Oh, yes. Not even close.
hands down. What's your next game on your list? Vladimir, stick with what you know, and you know what's
Cooper
on.
Island.
Oh, okay. I don't want to give a review of this,
Now, some of these we need to hold off and give like a full show to.
but we
But just
will.
a brief passing thought. I had already posted on Instagram. No.
I will reaffirm that with another no.
Okay. Riverboat.
What a delightful game, and I cannot recall at this time because I'm drinking this
We have
cheap
too
whiskey.
many outlets.
Who told us to play
Someone
Riverboat?
keeps saying play Riverboat, and I said we will play Riverboat.
Riverboat, because we are a man of our word. Riverboat was delightful.
Maybe it was. I think it was on our guild. Join our guild at boardgamegeek.com.
We have a guild?
Thank you, Enrique.
boardgamesnobs.
Have you?
This is my thing with the guild. It's like /boardgames /2345967. I like.
If they know how to use BGG, they'll find us.
I
they'll-
don't.
they'll
But
be fine.
whoever suggested, it was on the Facebook group actually who suggested it.
Oh, okay.
Whoever suggested Riverboat, that was a fine game. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I intend to purchase it at the next available time.
Wow, look at you.
I really like
It
it.
was very nice. And it's old.
It is old, but you know, it was comforting like your grandmother. It's one that's
Like
just
my grandmother?
No, like my grandmother.
How dare you.
She's 93.
You don't know my grandmother.
She has all of her teeth.
R.I.P.
She makes pies.
How many grandmothers did you grow up with?
I remember when I was younger, my mom's mom.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That was my mom's. Is my great grandmother, and it weirded me out
You
because
had a great grandmother that you
Yes.
remember?
yes,
Must be
barely.
nice.
And here's why I remember: she had lost all of her fingers on one hand. They had been cut off
What?
because when she was older, she was in a nursing home that had fire doors that automatically close when there's a fire.
Oh my goodness.
And she lost her hand, a part of her fingers, in a fire door closing on them.
Well,
incident.
then.
Well, way to bring it down.
Yes.
a
So
downer.
I just remembered the one hand great grandmother that I had. She was very interesting to talk to, but I mean, I was 5, 6. I just remember her yelling a lot. And then my dad's mom, Jewel.
Jules. Was she?
Yes.
Was she a?
Yes.
Really?
Everybody loved Jewel. Jewel, one of the finest. I mean,
Do you think you become what your name is?
I don't know, but I do know this. She was the nicest.
You are a Jerry.
She literally was the epitome of grandmother. She made pies. She made quilts.
Oh.
And she gave pies and quilts to people. I remember when we first, as soon as the kids got the kids, she started making quilts, making pies. She's 90 years old. She comes over and I still have. I mean, yeah, she's a typical grandmother. She passed
This
away.
was your dad's mom?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she passed away a few years back because we had she passed away, and then I found out at work that they made me take off because apparently if your grandmother passes away, they make you take a day off. They made me take a day off at my company.
Really?
Yes, and so I came over, and I remember we came over to your house, and I said, "This is the Jewel Baker Memorial Day board game event." Yes, I said, they're making me take a day off work, so I'm using that. So we came over. Yeah,
I had a grandma,
Grandma?
that I knew on my mom's side. It was mom's mom. And boy, she babied me.
I know you talked about
Growing
it before.
up, I would go spend the night at her house on like a weekend, and she'd give me whatever I wanted. Big Macs, M&Ms.
Big Mac.
Wake up Saturday morning and watch cartoons. Oh, it was awesome. And then she died when I was about 12. And
The damage had already been done.
yes,
Already
she
solved.
started me on my path. And my dad's mom, I never knew her. She died a long time ago, like in the 70s or something.
Whoa.
Yeah. Grandmothers are a great thing.
No.
But too much of a good thing can hurt you. That's why I've been taking it very easy this con. I've been trying to get plenty of sleep, except for last night.
Hydrate. You got to stay hydrated.
Except for last night, me and Enrique stayed up to 2 o'clock playing Two Rooms
You
in a
make
Boom.
it sound like that's not a usual thing for me.
All right, I know you don't sleep. What was the next game we played?
Jaws.
No.
And then late in the evening, as we're on our way out, there's a fella standing by waving homesteaders around, needing players.
And now look, don't do
then I said,
that.
I have heard of homesteaders. And then Jerry's like, well, let's play.
He taught the game very, very good. You obviously somebody who played it. He's played the game for 10 years. It's a 10th year anniversary edition. He said he's played it since the beginning. Very knowledgeable at the game.
And
obviously, he
beat
blew
the
us away.
snot out of us.
But it was a homesteaders.
Very nice.
We purchased it. I liked it that much.
Yeah, I was cracking up because this guy was searching for someone to beat down.
There's these two rubes.
Have you played this before?
They seem
Oh,
noobish.
yeah. I've only been playing it for 10 years.
Let me school you.
But it was fun. It was fun.
I like that he tolerates. Now, this is something I want to get off on here real fast, just because it has something to do with that event, as well as what we have experienced at a con. Me and Gabi often will get involved in games with other people, and Gabi and I don't change our dynamic when we're with people. We are exactly what you see, what you hear is what you get. And I have found that some people
AKA hilarious.
Sometimes.
Some people do not appreciate.
Depends on who you ask.
Some people do not.
We think we're funny.
And that's all that
And
matters.
that's a bad thing. To be honest.
Some people don't appreciate that. So we're generally at a
Obviously.
table, we're cutting up, we're talking about stuff, we're making stupid jokes. There was one game we were playing, Ecos. Wait a minute. We were playing Ecos, and there's a part in that game to where you lay down these little chits that are various animals, and one of them was a manatee. You could put a manatee in the water. And I had built up this ecosystem that was nothing but manatees on purpose. And the person playing was like, why are you just building manatees? I
because I can.
said, because I want to, and plus I like manatees. And I said, look,
So then
the
I said-
huge manatees. And that was the
the
greatest
huge manatees.
that was the
That was
greatest
hilarious.
thing I'd ever said. No.
Then I started doing the Jim Gaffigan stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a manatee.
That was great.
Hey, Seacal. Get a job.
All right. Let me tell you something.
Oh, and then when we were playing Homesteaders, literally, you buy a tomato. And with a tomato, you're buying buildings. So we're like, hey, here's a good proposition. I'll take your building. What you got? Well, I got maters. Sold! It's like I got maters and a piece of wood.
The guy that was teaching us the game was so mad because I built one saloon and I centered my whole. It's like, you should probably build other stuff to produce. Like, no, I'm dead into this saloon. I'm just producing
All
a
in on
saloon.
saloons. So I built a farm, and then I bought another farm. And I was like, he's like, let me check the book. I don't know if you can do that. He says, well, I mean, I don't know why you want to build two farms anyway. And I was like, oh,
Maybe I want a farm
all in
then.
on farming.
So yes.
I felt like he was a little condescending, but he did it in a nice way.
He was in a nice way. But also, so let me
Well, basically, he was like, oh my God, you're an idiot. I'm like, yes, sir. But I've got maters and I need to spend them.
But then we've got together and played with other people who really understood our humor, such as Johnny Fan. He's not a fan, I don't think.
I don't know.
He played with us at Raiders of the North.
Empires of the North.
Empires of the North.
Yeah.
He taught us that game. He's a friend of Dudley's
That
and
was
of
last night,
Kane's.
though. That was Thursday.
That was good, though.
We'll have to go back to the
still good.
future. But our fans were there. We've met several of our fans. And
Two.
There's two. That's several. It's more than one.
Kane and Dudley.
And Dudley thinks that we're super popular. He's like, and I hate to tell him
You're mistaken, sir.
that we are probably not that popular. But here's something that I noticed, though. I think that in terms of media people, I think that there are some that they do the media. And that's what they do. They're not out there really for the fans, and they're not out. I mean, they don't have to be. They don't need to be. They're providing a service. I mean, they're doing reviews, they're doing their opinions, they're doing the news, whatever it is. And so necessarily their interaction with the fans is not necessarily something that they either want nor need to happen. I think that with us, one, we're not reviewers. Two, we're not actually media. We're just some ignorant guys that are you're on a queen bed right now with a laptop that was given to you by one of the fans recording a podcast here at the Marriott. We're not technically big time media people. So
What do you mean technically? We're not.
Wait, no. Hey, Dudley says we are.
We are not.
Dudley says we are.
We have several loyal listeners that enjoy us for whatever reason.
Technically speaking, in the people's eyes, we are big, but in reality, we're not.
I think both of you are delusional.
What do you mean?
Because you're only as big as your heart. And friends, I have a big heart. And
you need to get that checked out.
I did.
You have an enlarged heart.
But yeah, no, I think it's a nice thing to be able to interact with people and to see people, and for it to be part of. That's what board gaming is about. And I realized earlier when we were talking, Gabi asked me, "Do you think we would have been friends if it hadn't been for board gaming?" Like, would we have actually have gotten together or have known each other or anything of that nature?
Because I would say, in general, like without board gaming, your personality and mine, I don't think normally go together.
They do not.
They never do.
You're a particular way. I'm a particular way. You would probably, well, you do on a regular basis anyway, but you make me mad. You make me angry.
When?
Just by
you guys are basically opposites of each other. He's the logical.
And put in Enrique in there.
I'm just basically a random factor.
What is he doing here?
But continue on.
I think that just proves that what part of board gaming, if you want it to be, is interacting with people,
Jerry's got his eyes closed
getting
right
to
now.
know people, and thus associating and just bringing the board game
Association
hobby to others. And I think that is kind of what we are kind of about, I guess, for some reason. I will end with this story. And this is why that despite our personality differences, me and Gabi have great chemistry, is that Gabi can say things that are hilarious and do things that for which I have been laughing for the past 48 hours. And I will tell this story. I don't know if I can get through it. We are at the food court here at the hotel. And there are scads of people in line, and we are waiting on somebody, and we are trying to either decide, are we going to get in line or not? And there's this one poor guy who's running up and down the food court trying to assist everybody, and he yells out in this very weak, high-pitched, panic voice, "I can help the next person in line!" And without missing a beat, Gabi yells back, "I'm thousands in debt. What can you do?" Which caused me, and only me, to begin laughing hysterically. Nobody else in line thought that was funny. I have laughed about that, and every time I think about it, I start laughing about that just because that was hilarious. And I realized, yes, this is what this is about. It's about causing chaos, having fun, and just in general.
Because you know why?
Why?
We like to have fun
We
here.
like to have fun here.
Obviously.
Well, that's going to do it for this podcast. We covered basically day one.
We covered nothing. Actually, we talked about my grandmother, who's dead, Rip Torn,
R.I.P. Rip.
Kane, and why he hasn't
Kane
called.
and Dudley. Thank you, sir.
Dudley.
Kane, thank you for not filing a lawsuit yet.
If anybody, I'm the one that's jilted.
Why?
He hasn't called.
Well, he's busy.
I just can't
He's a
believe
busy man. He has work.
We sort of covered day one then.
And Jason
Yeah,
Dinger.
basically.
We met the Dinger.
Oh, yeah, we met Jason Dinger.
The
He
renowned
was
designer.
very nice.
He gave me pieces of wood for which he has handcrafted
Okay,
what?
I forgot about Jason. Sorry.
the nicest dice tray in existence.
that
It's
dice tray
handcrafted.
is Like, I would say that man could go into business just selling dice trays.
He made this dice tray and then stops and says, now listen here. You know how you just kind of lightly throw dice into a dice tray and sometimes they'll fall flat? Well, this padding here has been infused with air so the dice naturally bounce. And I just realized this man is on a different level. I love talking to people about things that they're passionate about because you literally see their mind switch on.
Man,
and it's like he sits and let me tell you about this piece of wood I found. I like these knots. Do you like knots?
We're gonna try to
landing.
We're gonna try to get.
Go.
Why are you laughing so
knots,
hard?
Did you make a knots landing joke?
And I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tell you, Jag was good. Dallas was good, and Knots Landing wasn't bad.
Oh, okay. So anyway, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll milk this for all it's worth.
Oh, yeah.
In our next 2 or 3 episodes. So
the teats of BGG will be well milked because we're getting a lot of mileage out of this place.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for all that email and contact us through various different means or come up and talk to us at BGG. That's it.
Oh, we're ending? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. This is Jerry.
I'm Gabby.
This is an.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.